It was just a speeding ticket. Okay, I've heard that 100 times. Okay, and it is wrong every single time. Here's the thing that speed doesn't do. It doesn't make a crash happen. But here's what it does do. Okay, it decides how bad the crash is once it does happen. A slow crash means it could bend a bumper. Okay, a fast crash bends a vehicle. So let's do the math here and maybe some physics real quick, okay? Because it's not that complicated. A fully loaded truck at highway speeds needs almost 2 football fields to stop, okay? 2 football fields at 65 miles an hour, that's over 500 feet. And don't look at me, okay? That's FMCSA's own number. Nationwide, FMCSA is tracking about 160,000 large truck crashes a year. Close to 75,000 of those crashes result in injuries. And sadly, those crashes also cause around 5,000 deaths. And across that data, speed is one of the most consistent factors tied to how bad those crashes really turn out. Okay, that is the distinction that insurance companies look for. They're not asking, will this fleet get into a wreck? Okay, that's not the question. Statistically, everybody gets into a wreck eventually. Okay, accidents will happen. It's a risky industry that we're in. But a big question out there is when it happens, is it going to be a fender bender or is it going to be much worse? And again, speed is the biggest contributor to that answer. Now, in all of my years of being in the transportation industry, this is really the part that carriers get backwards, okay? Every time it seems like. You've got a driver, okay? A couple speeding events on their record, but no crashes. The instinct, and I get it, is to look at that and go, well, nothing's happened, so it's fine, okay? But that is wrong, okay? That's wrong. That's not a clean record. Okay, that's just a driver who hasn't run out of luck yet. Every mile that they drive over the limit, their margin for error gets a little bit thinner, and they just haven't needed that margin yet. Okay, yet. That's not safety. We call those accidents waiting to happen. And it doesn't stay contained to just one bad day. Okay, a driver who runs a few miles an hour over regularly is doing it every single load, every single one. In other words, the crash isn't the start of the risk. The risk's been sitting there the whole time. Okay, the crash is just the day that it finally shows up. Now, if a crash happens and that driver's got a documented pattern of speeding with no coaching on the record as well, that pattern doesn't stay quiet for long. It becomes what we call evidence. Okay, attorneys go looking for exactly that. They go looking for proof that the company had the information and sat on it. Okay, and if you use a reputable ELD, you more than likely have that speed data. So, when an underwriter's looking at your speeding data, they're not just asking, will you crash? That's not really the question. What they're really asking is, if you crash, how bad is it and how bad does your paperwork make you look afterward? Okay? A clean crash history is good. It's just not the same thing as a clean risk profile.